Good morning, everybody. So we just woke up, got ready, and we are about to go eat some breakfast. We'll head up on the bus and get to Olympia, show you guys around.
What's up, kitty kid? Go, kitty kid.
So these are offerings to get into the Olympics. People would take these if they can afford to, offer olive oil or wine and stuff like that. These are the offerings people would throw into the deal up here. It's made out of bronze mostly, and it's offerings that people would use instead of paying like a toll to get in. They would bring artifacts like this. I didn't know they had Kermit the Frog back then. Is basically the participants' armor. If you notice, a lot of it's very small. I guess they weren't big people, they were just kind of smaller dudes. Shin guards and arm guards. This is somewhere in the triangle on top of the stadium. I think where you entered or somewhere. The statues that were up inside that triangle on one side, and then I'll show you the other side in a second. Zeus, king, queen, slave. The guy that was trying to get with the king's daughter over there and ended up getting with her, but this dude was in love with the queen also, but this guy the king liked, I guess, and didn't kill, so he ended up killing the slave because he was in love with the queen. Zeus telling these heathens to stop trying to steal these women. Told them to quit, and they did. That's the original head that they found. Look how it almost looks like it's perfect. Like nothing has ever changed. This is down where the games were, all the buildings and stuff. It was covered in 25 foot of mud after 2 earthquakes a long time ago anyways. And they dug it all up and stood everything up, and now we're walking through it. There's 2 separate little stadiums where the athletes would train, and this is one for the runners and jugglers. And I think she said something else, I can't remember. But the one next to it with all the pillars over there was for every other sport. They spend a month here to train before the Olympics start. And this is where they train in. It's these two areas. So this area was boxing and wrestling, and they said, I can't remember what they called it, but basically MMA. They would train in this facility here. The Temple of Zeus. There's only one remaining restored column right here. And these columns here all around are exactly how they fell during the earthquake. The area out here was the statues of the winners of the Olympics. There's like over 3,000 or something like that before the earthquake. Up on these square stones is where where the statues were placed, all in here with a bunch of trees. These big triangle ones, or these big rectangle ones, are platforms to hold the horses that won with the member, I guess. So like the chariot horses and things, horse events. The horses would be on top of those. This is the altar where they sacrificed animals for Queen Hera. And also this is where they light the torch of the Olympics in here by a mirror and the sun. That's how they used to light it, but it was right here. I guess in 2028 they're supposed to reenact it. So tune into YouTube or the internet around that time. You'll see this, the way it was done back then. Up on this hill here is all the vendors before you enter the stadium in there, where they're walking. When you come into the Olympic Stadium, they have these pillars here that they would put statues on, made out of bronze, of cheaters that would, cheat during earlier games, and everybody would spit on them before they walked through this tunnel. And then through this tunnel was actually enclosed all the way. So you're walking through a dark tunnel. On one of these sides, there's a judgment lady with a scale, and then the other side was
Luck and Justice.
The Luck and Justice statue. So they would come through here. You can only imagine it by closing your eyes until you come up the other side. There was no seating for anybody. They only had seating for the judges on the one side, and on the other side was seating, I think, for the Queen? I'm not sure. So this is the starting line here. These grooves, they would put their toes into them somehow when they positioned themselves at the starting line. And they had something that would drop with gravity, that somebody would hold a rope behind them so there wouldn't be any false starts. Up over here, everybody would just sit down, like sit on the ground. But on this side here, where those stones are, that's where all the judges would sit. All events were done solo back then. There was no team events or, So I'm not sure if Christine's going to run this, but I think she is. Here goes Christine. She's going to run the 600 meters all the way across. Also, by the winners of the Olympics would receive food, free food for the rest of their lives. That's what they said they were awarded.
I'm not a runner, but
She's got Andrea running with her. Correction on the length. It's 190 meters, which is 600 feet, not 600 meters. Sorry. I think also they would do a lot of events in here, not just running. It would be boxing and wrestling, javelin, what else? Anyways, pretty much all the sports. A lot of the sports were in here. Here's the other side of Zeus's temple. It's all the pillars that fell down on this side. Well, if you're still with us, guys, we are leaving the stadium area and we are heading to a Be Our Guest lunch somewhere in the country over here. This facility here is the museum, but they say that this is a replica of how those training coliseums, gymnasiums. I've been saying that wrong the whole time.
So please walk up.
Thank you.
White pine.
We'll follow Luda now, please. You can continue with her to the soap making place. She has a few more things to show to you.
He's gonna eat your camera.
If you didn't hear that tree right there that I'm about to show you is 1,000 years old olive tree.
Warming it. Medicinal olive oil. Yeah. Peppery.
Oh, I do. It does bring it through a little bit. Dang. We're having lunch here. So they're teaching us how to test and taste olive oils. Christine's up at the olive oil bar. She's going to get a bunch of samples. And then I'm just going to do things that are more important, which is pour wine.
It's yours.
Now, my recommendation is to try the white dip with the meat. They go perfectly together. That's how we eat them here in Meteora. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is the last one. This is Team Pro. It's our production. We take after the wine from the seed to the skin of the grape. It's strong, but it's very good for digestion. That's why we serve it last. And of course, we have some Delphi. We will help you with that as well. Okay?
Oh, you're good. You're all scared they're gonna grab you.
I should be trying new challenges other people have.
So that's more likely a dingle. And then it looks like it's an olive.
Fortress. The Venetians. They're obsessed with this fortress, and you're gonna be able to see it properly now to your right hand side. And now that we in Italy, if you have one property only, and you're resident in that property, there is zero tax property. As in these fancy friends, they get in Mykonos, and the first thing they do, they try to rent a car. They don't even have electricity.
We're here in Delphi, and this is our third hotel. Again, same hotel franchise, if you will.
And floor plan.
It's pretty much all the same. Got some stones on the floor over there, like you're in the mountains, which we are really, really high up in the mountains. We opted not to go to our option dinner tonight, cooking class, whatever, and just go walk around the town. So this is the village of Delphi. This is why we opted not to sit in a classroom and make dip and fries cheese in the optional class that they had. We wanted to get out and explore, so we're trying to find a place to eat now. If you notice how narrow the sidewalks are, it's because you don't have a whole lot of room. It's one way in and one way out of the village. You go through it, turn left, and come back out through it. Hello. Hello.
Hey.
There we go.
You filming the
Is this the one that? Yeah, it is.
Και το Σπύρο.
What you doing, kitties?
Τι. Μωρέ πάρε τη λόκια ώστε. Πώς θα το κόσμο το ναι. Πώς θα το κόσμο,
Here it goes. Just walking around Delphi now that we had some food and a drink, and we're just taking in the sights. It's pretty cool out here. Temperature's starting to drop too, so that's nice.
Tomorrow, I think we're going to be able to hike part of that mountain, because at the bottom when we turn that corner is where we park the bus for a museum for the ancient Delphi. I don't know, we'll find out.
spot down here.
We're going to the Delphi Archaeological Museum, and then we're going to go up a mountain to wherever the oracles are.
So please join us. See you later.
And we're gonna have our global reward drink. Something that Trafalgar buys for you is to thank you to be on a Trafalgar tour. Those of you who have been with Trafalgar before, and those of you on your first time with Trafalgar, hopefully we're gonna see you again.
What you can all see is reconstruction. It's the sanctuary of Apollo. We collect information from the historians, from the mythology, from the inscriptions. That's why we were able to make such an accurate reconstruction of the sanctuary of God Apollo.
This is why, again, most drivers, are not happy about driving through here. It's a big trick.
We're here at the next hotel. Same company, same everything. Not too bad. If you can sleep in it, I guess it's good enough, right? They're trying to keep me from jumping out the window, though. We'll see if that stops me. Cheers. Here's the bar. Here's my beer.
Oh, did you? Last night, did you see when you came back? All lit up? No. Oh my gosh, how did you take a video? Right? To get our dinner that we
No.
Did you get our water?
Did you get the full moon?
Yeah,
Full moon.
I got it. I got it.
That's made it.
That's the problem with kids. When it's a full moon, you can tell it's full. Good morning. We are in our hotel in a city called Calabaca, something like that. Anyways, we're about to head downstairs and get on our coach, and we're gonna drive like 20-30 minutes into another town called Meteora. That's where we're gonna visit an Eastern Orthodox monasteries. There's these two really big, tall, rounded rocks at the top of the mountain where the monasteries are, because I guess they wanted to be as close to God as possible. So should be interesting. I'm sure it's probably really pretty inside, so stay tuned.
So many buses to choose from.
One has to do with the rocks and the formation, the other has to do with the monasteries and the history of them. And if you see now, in front of us is the entrance, which means
Os hablé de una red, aquí se ve la red. Así que esto se abre al suelo, se pone uno adentro, ponen la cuerda por encima,
that's far.
tiran, se queda.
What's in there? Nothing?
Money. Well, did you love it?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
They make like they're self-sufficient.
We made it back to Athens, Greece. We're at the same hotel we were staying in the first day we got here. This is our last day here. We're going to be having our farewell dinner tonight, and then we leave in the morning. We'll be flying in to Venice, and then Cody is gonna pick us up. I can't wait. We're gonna stay at his house for 4 nights and then leave on June 5th. But let's just take a look at our room. It's very similar setup. Amalia is the chain of the hotels that we've been staying at in every city that we've been to so far. And every room standard, basically same floor plan. But this one, we have a little street view. This time, nice and sunny out right now. So we have about an hour before dinner, and then we gotta meet downstairs in the lobby, get on the bus one last time, and we're all gonna go to, I don't know, some Greek restaurant.
We got these beers at the kiosk right across the street. The kiosk is where they sell sodas and snacks and things. It's pretty cool because it's pretty cheap. This beer right here is like €2.50, and then these cans here, I think they're like €1.20. €1.20. €1.20. Whatever. Anyways, we're gonna cheers to our last day in Greece. Hope you guys enjoyed the videos. So tomorrow we're going to go to Venice because our son, if you've seen some of my other videos, I explained that he's in the military in the Air Force, and he's stationed at Aviano Air Force Base, which is about 45 minutes from Venice, which is Italy. And so he's going to come down and get us tomorrow. We're going to fly in there and we'll spend 4 days with him. So stay tuned for that. That should be pretty cool. All right.